All right, we're moving really fast today. Here's a quick start on Pro Tools. Go to File, Create New. It's going to bring up this menu. This menu can be shown in Startup. You click the Show on Startup button right here. I'm going to call it Quick Start. Here we are, and we'll create that session. We created that session. First thing we'll want to do is create a click track. Go up to Track, go to Create Click Track. There it is. You can see that your click track now exists, and you can make it larger by going to the bottom, clicking and dragging it. Here's your click track. Now play it back. You'll see it is going to the tempo, which is right up here. Now, if you don't see tempo, next to bars and beats, there's menu. You click that menu and you go right down to tempo. If it's not checked, it's hidden, just go ahead and click it and it'll pop right up. So there is your tempo. Now, we could change that tempo in a few ways. Just double click it right now, and we could just type in a new tempo, 140. That was easy. Now, let's double click it again, and we're going to tap into tempo. Just tap on the button T on your computer. And now here we are at 124 because we tapped in the tempo, and Pro Tools has figured out what tempo we were tapping, 124. So we've set up our tempo, we have our click track set up. Now we need to set up a audio track. So we can go to Track New or Command Shift N to go to a new track, Track New. When we're going to create one mono audio track, you can make it a stereo track. You can make it not an audio track, but an aux input, master fader, VCA, master MIDI track, or instrument track. You will probably be working off of audio tracks and instrument tracks while you're writing, and that's about it. This other stuff is fun stuff for other options. So we're just going to be working with audio tracks to start. Here we go. We will rename this by double clicking it. We'll call it Track 1. And you'll see right here is your I/O, your input over output. So here's my input, my built-in microphone, and my output A1, A2, which is going to my computer speakers right now. That could be set to different things. They could be named different things. Even out 1, 2 is very likely that yours says out 1, 2. It could even say speakers out. So if we don't have any of this I/O stuff, there's a menu right here, right above our click track, you'll see. And you can have your inserts, which I do, inserts. I have my sends and my I/O. There's my I/O there. We'll get into the inserts and the sends soon. We're just going to go into the I/O. Unfortunately, this is linked. My computer speakers are the out and my input is my computer microphone. So I'm going to bring the volume down here. This is your volume control, all the way down to 0, well, negative infinity. Bring it down to nothing, because otherwise I'm going to get internal feedback in my computer. Now I'm going to press record here. You can see that I'm now metering, and I'm showing on the meter that something is coming in. Here's my meter right here. Now, if I press F12, recording begins. Check it out. You'll hear the click. And I can talk back, I can talk to the beat, real quick, real simple. All right, so now we have a part. We have to take off our record arm so we don't get any of that nasty feedback, and we can bring the volume back up to 0 through our fader here, right around 0. Now we can play that back, and you'll see I'm no longer talking. Shh. And I can talk back, I can talk to the beat, real quick, real simple. Great. Now we're going to zoom in. It's real simple. It is the T key and the R key. T zooms in, R key zooms out. Just press your T key or R key. If they're not working, there is a button right up here. See the AZ? The AZ, if that is off, if it's not highlighted, those keys won't work. So make sure that's highlighted. All right, so now we have our audio, and we want to mess with our audio. We're only going to talk with a few different ways to mess with it. We're going to be on the Selector tool right now. We'll talk about the Grabber tool as well, and the Trim tool. For first, the Selector tool. Selector tool is real simple. We highlight areas. Now, we have a grid because we have a click track, so we can work in grid mode. If you go to the left, all the way to the top left here, you have slip mode, grid mode, shuffle mode, and spot mode. We will talk about slip mode and grid mode. Do not be in shuffle mode. Please do not go to shuffle mode at all until you understand it, or spot mode. So we're going to be in slip mode right now, and you can see I could just take small spots of anything. If I say want to cut out this one word, back, I can talk there we go. I can grab that, and I just highlight, I press delete, and it's gone. Next, if I want to be in grid mode, now, grid mode is going to lock me to the grid. You see these grid lines? I can't go less than a grid line, and it'll be locked dead on that grid. I could change the grid by going up to here where it says grid and just changing it. I could be an 8th note, 16th note, 32nd notes, 64th notes, half notes, or bars. We could also change it to dotted notes and triplets. Really, really cool way of doing any sort of feel type stuff. If you're doing anything shaky and has some sort of swing to it, the triplet feel is going to be very, very important if you want to edit in grid mode. Now, while I'm in grid mode, and right now I'm in quarter note grids, you'll see when I am talking to the beat here, I can talk to the beat. I can go ahead, I will highlight this section, and I'm taking a quarter note out, so we'll be missing that. I can talk to the beat real quick. All right, now I want to go ahead and fade back in after that. So I'm going to just highlight the area from before it, and we're going to click the F key. That's a normal straight fade, and there you go. So take a listen. Real quick, real simple. All right, now let's say I want a different type of fade. Let me get rid of that by pressing Command Z to undo, and I'll highlight the same area again. Command F to bring up my fade menu. I'm going to do an equal gain fade, and you'll see there's different illustrations of what the fade will look like. I'm going to use a very, very drastic one. Here we go. Real quick, real simple. And now it has a different kind of envelope as it comes up, and you'll hear that it goes real slow at the beginning, real high towards the end. It's a different type of fade. Next, I want to look over at the grabber tool. So I clicked the grabber tool, and I'm going to take this and I can move it wherever I want. Okay, I can move that wherever I want. Now, the cool thing about grid mode is if I lock into regular grid mode, see how I clicked it? And it's blue up here. If I lock into regular grid mode, this will move it to the nearest grid. So what is important about that is this isn't technically on the grid right now. So what if I want to move it a grid over, but I don't want it to lock to the grid? Just click it again, and you'll go to relative grid mode, and now I can move it a grid over, and I'm still not locked on the grid. I'm in the same place relative to this new grid. Another very cool thing. So let's get rid of all of that. We'll go back to slip mode, and we'll go through this right here, and we're just going to use the trim tool. Right here is your loop. So if you see on your trim tool this kind of backward arrow thing, this becomes a loop tool, which we don't want right now. We're just going to talk about trimming. So we'll click it and try to get that to go away. There we go. If we double click, right click on any computer, just go to standard and get yourself out of loop. And we're going to move that from the left to the right. And we're going ahead wherever we are. We're getting back everything that we deleted because that's how Pro Tools works. Pretty nice. I can talk to the beat. Real quick, real simple. All right, so that's all the basic commands for everything. Remember, F12 will record. Your in and out is going to be T to zoom in, R to zoom out. Spacebar will play back everything. I can talk. Spacebar is the way to go. If you want to return to the beginning of a song, press your return button, your enter button on your keyboard. It'll bring everything back to the beginning. That's really the basics of it. I think you could probably use this to get started. If you have some weird problems, like this, here's a problem people find on their first time often. They'll do a playback. I can talk to the beat. And now you see where the playback followed. The playback did not go back to the original place, and real quick, real simple, it's going to start from there. That might bug you because you might want to take a few takes from the same area. You just have to press the N button. It also is just going to affect this right up here. Your insertion follows playback, or the N button on your keyboard will shut that off. Now, I can talk to the beat. Everything will return each time. I hope this was a pretty good quick start guide and gets you guys moving. Let me know if you have any questions. I have a whole course on this that's way more in depth, but some people just want to get started right away. So here you go. Please like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe on YouTube, and I will talk to you soon.